win seemed important for a couple reasons after last night, and this is your last home game for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, when you look at the schedule, tonight was one of those, you don't want to say must wins, but I think that based on how the division's going this year, with everybody seeming to winning every night, you kind of circle this one going into the week anyway. That you'd like to have this one, So last night was a tough one, not to be able to seal that with 5 minutes to go. But as I said to the players this morning, you take the point and move on, and then come back with a good effort tonight. And I thought we got that, and that sets up a big game for tomorrow.
Your decision, you put Barb's in and you took Verona out.
Well, Barb's, we had talked last week about him not playing 3-3. The only way he was going to play 3-3 if for some reason we were banged up or the Caps needed another player and we only had 12 forwards, and then he was going to have to fight through it. But based on the fact that he missed 35 games in 3.5 months of hockey, it didn't make sense for him to play 3-3. And I really wanted him in the lineup tomorrow against Bridgeport. So it came down to Friday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday. And he actually, we spoke Thursday, and he really wanted to play the home game. And, let's face it, guys feel real comfortable at home, and he's played some good hockey here at Giants Center. So, and then the fact that, we've been in, we had points in, 6 straight going into last night. So it's tough to tinker too much with the lineup. So I felt with the winning streak, or the point streak, at least from the game's perspective, and the fact that he wanted to play the home game, and as a coaching staff, we wanted him in Sunday, that's what we were going to do. And then, based on last night's play, someone had to come out. And, it's a little bit of tough love for Verona, but we did it earlier in the year. And he needs to play better without the puck. His puck management and his one-on-one battles is not where it needs to be if he's going to contribute to our team, let alone the Washington Capitals. So a little bit of a message for him here today. We did it earlier in the year, and he responded excellent and went on a real good point streak. But I was real frank with him this morning that since he came back from his 4-week stay in the NHL, it's really been some inconsistent play, and especially without the puck. And we need more guys to play 200-foot hockey, and he's one of them, because he can dominate offensively at this league, but you can't be turning pucks over. You got to play in your D zone. So that was the message to him, and hopefully we get a response from him tomorrow.
There was a very physical start to the game tonight. Was there a game plan to come in playing with fire, or did that just evolve naturally?
I think it evolved naturally, although we did talk about the forecheck. Just watching our game the last couple of days in their building 2 weeks ago, I felt that one of the reasons we were able to win 5-4 in their building was we had a really good forecheck, and we were able to create a lot of turnovers on their defense by getting in and being physical and real good sticks on the ice. Now, there was times where we were physical and not having our stick on the ice as the F1, but we talked about that in the first intermission. So I thought that overall tonight, I would say the forecheck was one of our strengths. A little bit of a lull in the second period, but I thought the first and third, the forecheck was really good for us.
There's a big game coming up for you guys tomorrow. It's against Bridgeport. What do you think you can take from tonight's game for tomorrow?
Well, I just think that it's another game where we've won, what is it, 8 straight now with points. So we've almost made up those 3 weeks in terms of, where we only had 4 out of, we hadn't played 9 games and we only were able to solidify 4 points because we work on a week-to-week basis. So we got that tonight, and now, we have Bridgeport 5 more times. So it's not a do-or-die situation tomorrow, but certainly heading in there on the road, we'd like to come up and get the 2 points and feel good about ourselves going into a real tough weekend starting on Friday of next week.
They put a lock in tonight. I guess the other guy got hurt, eh?
Yeah.
When you face, let's pretend he plays tomorrow, when you face somebody of that magnitude who is down for whatever reason, what do you tell guys? Anything?
Well, I think, Scott Murray does a real nice job of working or dissecting every visiting goaltender that we know is playing. And he'll give the guys some pointers tomorrow in terms of some of his weaknesses or tendencies where we might be able to score. But it's like any top-end goaltender. You got to do the little things of taking his eyes away and making him work for his saves. So we just assumed that he'd be in the net tomorrow based on the 3-3 for them. But they seem to win a lot of hockey games with him in the net, so we wouldn't be shocked to see him. But we'll have to work. I think we've had a number of opposition players and coaches tell us that we're the best offensive team they faced all year in terms of how we generate offense and how we make them work in ozone play. And that's going to be something that's going to be a huge key for us tomorrow.
By the simple nature of the boards and the mats being down, did that have effect on the ice at all?
Yeah, the guys didn't like the ice tonight, especially as we got into the periods there. It was real sloppy at times. And, after the second intermission, I talked to the team about, I felt we were playing a little bit of a game of ping pong there. Both teams didn't want the puck in the neutral zone. It was a little bit sloppy there, and the ice did not help things. Guys would even see it was sticking. If you won the face-off and you tried to move it, it was sticking to the ice. So certainly the conditions weren't great for both teams.
Parker Milner, he's had a very good start with the Bears this season. Is there any difficulty in coaching someone that is coming from the ECHL?
Well, I think that you initially always get a great push, whether it's now a goaltender might be a little bit different story. At the end of the day, as a coach, as the head coach, I just want saves. I want key saves. The actual dissecting of his play, that's Scott Murray's department in terms of what he can do better on a game-to-game basis. But, if you look at ECHL call-ups, it's like, someone gets called up to the NHL, they usually make an initial push. But it's when you get to that 10th and 11th game, then you really know if you've got a player that can stick with you. Now, goaltender could be a little bit different, but I know from the forwards D perspective, that's how it works. But Parker's come in, and he's made some key saves for us in all three of his starts. He's 3-0, so you can't argue with that. And, until he falters, he'll keep getting the net once a week. And if we need him to play 2 games in a week, we're not afraid to do that as well. But he's done his job here, basically in his last 3 weeks here with us. Okay, thank you. See you in a couple weeks.